hi to everyone. I'm so privileged to be here with Dr. Bob, a psychiatrist who's for many, many years has had a wonderful experience on so many levels with his clients and has worked in prisons, which I'm going to actually get him to explain his history. But Dr. Bob has made such a huge change and shifts with challenged clients, I guess. Is that how you'd like to say it?
Absolutely.
So, Dr. Bob, thank you again. And can you please tell us about your history?
Went to the United States, got married, got to the States, worked in a large lunatic asylum, upstate New York.
Okay, right.
Most of the doctors were refugees like me. And I had some interesting training at the Columbia Presbyterian Psychiatric Institution in New York. There was an interesting man there called Rosen who did group therapy for psychotic symptoms, which was very unusual. And I worked at a hospital called Claybury. And Claybury was one of the pioneer hospitals in the outskirts of London, which was doing what they called therapeutic community. I ran a special clinic on a Wednesday morning for people who had emotional problems. I wanted to sort them out. Mm-hmm. And over a period of 20 years, which is what time was there, I gradually got confidence in myself, basically. And as I now looking back, my fear of my father went down. I didn't know I had it. I would deny it, but it was there. Because after 19 years, in September 1986, I have the axe lady, I call her, who, after 9 months talking about everything else, suddenly said, "Did I ever tell you this story? When I was 6 years old," she was now 40, I was 6 years old, my mother took me upstairs with my brothers and sisters, put the furniture up against the bedroom door. My father came up the stairs after with a hatchet, broke holes in the door and said, "I'll bloody kill you all." I said, "No, you didn't tell me." Bang.
Right.
Dunk. She didn't tell herself, so she couldn't tell me. Therefore, the most dramatic and most awful thing that ever happened to her was out of bounds. She couldn't talk about it. Now, and the opportunity came for working in Parkhurst through a family friend who'd been promoted to governor, and he was a particularly enlightened governor, and he was looking for a psychiatrist. I said, "Well, you will be. I mean, who wants to work in a dungeon?" Yeah. But anyway.
For some people that don't know, Parkhurst is a prison, or was a prison. That's right?
Oh, it's a maximum security prison. It was the flagship of the prison system in the United Kingdom. Mm-hmm. So he was looking for a psychiatrist. We went down from a family visit in the February of 91, just because it's a long way away. And if we didn't go, we'd never go. So we went down to see him. And he said, "I'm looking for a psychiatrist." Well, I said, "You will do. Who wants to work in a dungeon?" Goodness. But he talked and he sounded liberal. I thought, right, if I work there, break my rule never to work in a large institution. So I agreed to go. And then I thought I had to persuade my lovely wife to come. So she'd already just started a job at Manchester University and was moving up through the glass ceiling. And she came down and went on a tour of the wing. And there was a whole line of us there. There was me, the governor, the chief medical officer, all in a line. And a young man came down the stairs, rushed past all of us, up to Sue, and said, "Will you let him come?" So I was there for 5 years, and I knew, as I say, that it was something to do with childhood that they couldn't talk about, something to do with the parents they couldn't talk about. And then I had a breakthrough prisoner, a pivotal case, Lenny, because he shouldn't have been there. He wasn't as bad as any of the others, but he was a big man, and they were frightened of him. So Lenny latched onto me fairly soon. I started July the 1st, and by September the 11th, I'd managed to persuade John to give me permission to take a video camera in. So I took a video camera in on the 11th, and Lenny agreed to be videotaped. And in it, he says, so dramatic, "Okay, Lenny, your mother, he must be full of murderous feelings, and his mother's being introduced. Is he going to kill her? No. Hello, mother. I'm an adult, he says, because I've coached him. I've seen him 5 or 6 times. And I said, do you believe that? And he says, partly. That's it.
Mm.
Is it true? Yes. Can he say it? No. Should he be able to say it? Yes. Can I help him say it? Yes. Will it help him? Yes. And in that first 11 minutes, you can see him changing. It's wonderful to see. He actually changes. Right, he says, you're here, right. I'll tell her. What's he doing? He's not doing anything drastic. He's not doing anything destructive. He's saying the truth. Hello, mother, I'm an adult. He couldn't say it with confidence because his parental figment would kill him. Boom. And I have to sit with him long enough, hold his hand, push him along as much as I can persuade him so that it won't happen. He has to trust me enough. He has to be, I have to have enough confidence that that's worth pushing because he could be a dangerous man. He could be very violent. So I have to have enough confidence that it's worth pushing, that he will see the benefit of it. Ask him if he sees the benefit of it. And he does. He says, the anger's going down. I said, with her. You can hear my voice. With her. Yeah, with her. It's going down. Why? I'm feeling stronger. Fantastic. The whole of criminal psychology is in that 15 minutes, 11 minutes.
And that's all on your YouTube. You've got a YouTube channel, haven't you? Or it's
Substack. It's Substack.
So all of
if you put Dr. Bob Johnson Substack, it'll take you straight there. But and some of them didn't change at all, and some of them took 2 years to change. So you think, maybe they're right. Maybe they're unchangeable. But Lenny changed from the September to November. So that's what, 4 months, 3 months.
Wow, that's so fun.
So then, now this is the key, right? So having established that he can't say, hello, mother, I'm an adult, you then, when you're absolutely satisfied and absolutely confident and absolutely through the other end, you say, okay, Lenny, your mother's coming across to hit you. What are you going to say? Very dangerous. He says, oh, and saying he just hold her hand.
Yeah.
Total change.
Wow.
In fact, I had this, this was before the time of video programming, so I had to have it done commercially, and the man said, you've got a different man there. You've got a different man. You swapped over, you had a totally different personality.
So he just became really empowered that,
he became an adult, yes. Empowered is the word, yes, empowered. In fact, one stage in the first 11 minutes, I say, he says, well, I'll do that because you're here, right? So I say, so what role am I playing? What am I doing? And then there's a pause, and I say, I'm giving you moral support. And he says across me, power. You're giving me power. And I am. I've got the power. I'm not frightened of his mother. I'm not frightened of his father anymore. So I can give him power to address it. Not to hit his mother, not to destroy her, not to do anything dreadful, but just to say, I can look at you straight. I can look at myself straight.
And that really is huge, to give them back the power that they were so fearful of, thinking that, they were living behind this fear of the mother, and in other cases, their father in some instances.
Oh, either parent. Either parent. It could be either parent. If you look at the child, the infant is born and there are 2 people looking after him, or 1 person looking after him. Whoever's looking after him are the carers, normally parents, and they make all the difference. And so your world revolves around the parent. Do the parents clothe you, feed you, keep you warm, cuddle you, things like yes or no? And if they don't, then that's the world. The world is full of people who don't care. They don't bother. They won't look after you. You're sunk. And so they come out of life and they're fighting. So you have to say, just a minute, laddie, you were born lovable, sociable, and non-violent. And then you keep going until they say, all right, I was.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of the prisoners, so much so that the violence actually reduced, didn't it? And
there was no violence at all. It was a special unit set up for the most violent, unstable lifers in the prison system. And it was a very good idea. It was set up in 1986. So I arrived 1991, 5 years into it. And then for the first 2 years, I was working through getting my message across. And in the last 3 years, there was no violence at all. In the first 7 years, there were 20 alarm bells every year.
Wow.
Somebody has a fight, somebody gets, and there was a murder too before. Fight, bang, alarm, alarm, alarm. But in the last 3 years, none. Now that's unique. Unique for an entire maximum security prison anywhere in the world. No violence. I mean, it's just, it's so inconceivable. They didn't
shut it down.
They threw me out. They threw me out. Yeah, they threw me out. They said, "Well, we're closing it. We're closing it." No. And then a press conference after, they said, "It's quite wrong for Dr. Johnson to claim he did any good." What? I'm working 5 years, have fat fee, and I did what? I mean, people who don't do any good, they don't bother to say.
Yeah. So. The thing is that you changed a lot of the prisoners, but you also brought that more into fruition, didn't you? You really had a better understanding that it was really behind a lot of the issues, is behind the parental figment, isn't it?
Well, it's not only all the issues, it's behind all the issues. Every issue there is to do with the mind. Is how we were trained. What's the programming? What are the foundation stones to your mental world? They come when you're very small, right from the beginning. And if it goes wrong, I now say with utter confidence, it's gone wrong because you've been badly trained. I call it a friendless childhood.
Oh, wonderful.
Friendless childhood explained war. There you go.
Exactly.
And so you've got the child. You've got the child dreaming of a tank. And the verbal physiotherapy is how to unpack it. And the verbal physiotherapy book has dialogue from my favorite serial killer, Alec, who came in, and he came in, I've been there about 18 months, so I was routinely videoing everybody who consented, and he didn't care. He said, yeah. And he said, "I'm going to kill every 2 years. I made no secret of it. Every time I came into prison, I'm going to kill again." He'd already killed in prison. "I'm going to kill again. They'll move me on, and I'll kill again every 2 years." Very meticulous chap, very careful, and that was all there was to it. That was what the world was. The world was a place where he did not. He went to work, a place where he went to kill. That's how he killed. So over the years, 2 years, it took 2 years. He gradually changed, and then he started teaching me. For example, he said when he was 18, he was then 24, 25, he said, "When I was 18, I got married, I have everything I wanted, but I could only talk with my fists." I could only talk with my fists. So by the time he could tell me that, he could talk with his tongue.
Wow.
So he'd been taught violence by his father, a particularly violent father, and violent school. So that was the language. You either hit people or you didn't get on. They hit you or you hit them, and you could talk with his fists. That's his phrase, and it's a brilliant phrase. He needs to talk with his tongue because people like to talk. They don't like to be hit. They like to talk. And he talked, and he never killed again. Never killed again.
That is...
I saw him again in sort of 10, 12 years later. The prison service was quite appalling. I had to go as an ordinary visitor. They wouldn't let me take even a pen into the session with him. We were in this large room alone, so I gave him a hug.
Oh.
And he never killed. If I had a camera over my shoulder,
oh wow,
it would have changed anyway. I didn't, and that's the end of the story. But he's never killed again. He will never kill again. In fact, he will stop. Now, when you're a small child, it's important for everybody to find out what the life support system consists of, right? And you've got these mysterious adults 5 times as bigger than you, doing very mysterious things you can't understand. And they're going to either look after you or not look after you. So you can you can do what you can, but they are the one with the agency. They do, and you're done to. End of story. Right. Mm-hmm. So over the first 20 years of life, you're learning the language, you're learning behavior, you're learning agency. Or are you? Now, if your parents haven't got agency and they're doing what their parents told them, and they're all the way back, you're in trouble because they don't know what to teach. They've never learned it. It's not important. Everybody does what everybody tells them to do, and you hear it all the time. You have to do what you're told. You have to learn to take responsibility, to respond to what's going on, to take agency, right? Now, as the agency transfers across, then you can solve your depression, you can solve your psychotic symptoms, you can solve your violence, you can solve your crime, because you don't need any of those. You can get on by social delight, is what I call it, which is the agency interacting. Now, somebody comes in with a symptom. Doesn't matter how old they are, doesn't matter what the symptom is. It's depression, it's psychotic symptoms, whatever it's violence, it's self-violence, anorexia, whatever it is. I say immediately, this is infant strategies in adult life. Now, I have to be 100% convinced of that, because that's not what they'll say. And they'll give you lots of this and lots of other stuff and try and change your mind, and maybe even get violent to change your mind, but they don't accept that. So you just keep it to yourself and you say, this is my position and it will not change. Conviction. And the second conviction is that if they get rid of the infant strategies, the adult is sane, stable, happy, healthy, and helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the two convictions. You have to have the conviction first that you can do something, that there is something to do about all these. I mean, the symptoms are just amorphous. I mean, there could be anything.
Yeah.
Could be anything.
Absolutely. And, for a lot of the therapists like myself out there, this is a great way to emphasize to them, because when they have clients that come up to them that with depression or stop smoking or violence, or, as you say, whatever it is, that is just the symptom. And really what is underlying is what you're saying, which is there is something there that's going on in a parental figment.
Absolutely. It's a symptom. And what it shows, with varying degrees of severity, how far they are from adult status.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. An adult is lovable, sociable, and non-violent. That's what a healthy adult is. So if you're non-violent, you get friends and you get support from friends. You get an emotional network, and you trust the emotional network, and the emotional network trusts you. I've got a wonderful philosophical theory which says that I only know things which are endorsed by other people.
Love that.
So I float it out and say, what do you think of this? I've just thought of this. What do you think of that? What do you, and I mean, that's what I do in the webinars. And it's incredibly simple too. It's just incredibly simple. They come in with a whole panoply of symptoms. I'm not interested in those. I'm interested in what's gone wrong. Oh, nothing's gone wrong. No, I had a lovely childhood. Crap. So then you gradually tease them out. You say, right, if your mum was on the phone, what would you say? I told her, Mum, no. How about saying, try, Mum, I'll never see you again. Oh, I couldn't do that. How old are you? 45, 82. Is that odd to you? Do you find that at all odd? Well, I think it's stupid. But do you find it odd?
Yeah.
Well, yes. No, I think about it. But nobody's asked them. Nobody said behaving like an 11-year-old, behaving like a 6-year-old, because you behave the way you always have behaved. This is the way you've always been taught. People hit you because that's what people do. So the only way to stop them hitting you is hit them first, and all this other crap. It's crap. But that's what you've been taught, and you have to be untaught by somebody you trust, somebody who's not frightening, somebody who's strong. And if you're strong, you're dangerous. So you have to be strong but safe. And
yes.
That's not always.
And that's what you teach to the therapist, is to get permission,
consent,
gain trust, and be strong with conviction.
Yeah. Consent, support. You have to support them.
Yeah.
Like I said, the model I use is a 200-foot drop. They're on the edge of a 200-foot cliff. And you say, no, it's 2 inches. Well, who are you? You don't know my 2. Whoa. And they don't believe you, or they do believe you. And as they begin to believe you, you say, well, look, put your foot out. Well, all right, if you insist. You put your foot out, boom. It's hard, solid ground, right, or whatever. And that's it's persuasion. It's not coercion. Coercion is parental. You say to the child, do not run across that busy road, or else I'll be very cross, or whatever. So you coerce them not to run across the busy road. And that's absolutely right. That's what a parent should do, right? But the parent should also do is to teach them busy roads are dangerous, and decide yourself not to run across. It's transfer of agency. It's transfer of agency. So I think really the difficulty from a therapist point of view is the consent, because they come in and they're all over the place. Come on, cure me. Oh. And they're all over the place. And you don't know, some my addiction, my gambling, my womanizing, violence, but it doesn't matter what it is. You say, well, fine, I'll write it down. I'm not particularly interested, but I'll write it down. And then I'll say, just a minute, what we like as a child. I'm not talking about my childhood. Fine. Come back when you want to, or,
Yes.
You have to be able to walk away. A parent can't walk away, but a therapist needs to be able to say, well, if you don't give me consent, I can't help you.